Hello everyone and welcome to Blaugrana Everything and welcome back to the channel and a match review as we look at how FC Barcelona wasted a great opportunity to push into the top 4 places in the La Liga standings. In truth, it was an open and end-to-end match, especially after Valencia equalized, but ultimately Barcelona couldn't make their chances count and Valencia held out for a draw, deservedly so, of the performance of their goalkeeper. So, in this video we're going to quickly look at how the teams lined up before talking about Barcelona's performance on the night, then discussing negatives and positives from the game as well as picking out our man of the match. My pick for today might just surprise you. Quick reminder to hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video so you can stay up to date with all the coverage of all things Barcelona on this channel. The match at the Camp Nou ended 2-2 as we know, with goals from Diakabi, Messi, Araujo and Gomez in that order. The draw leaves Barcelona stuck in 5th place in the league standings, though they could drop to 6th by the end of this game week. Currently they are 1 point behind 4th place Villarreal, who were yet to play at the time of recording this, and more importantly they're 8 points off 1st place Atletico Madrid, and all of a sudden all that hard work that Barcelona had put in to get within 6 points of Atletico and 3 of Real Madrid, well, that's all gone to waste now. It's all just been flushed down the drain. Well, let's go ahead and look at how the two teams set up, because the selections from both managers deviated a least a little bit from what we were expecting. Barcelona set up with a 4-3-3 with Stegen, Dest, Araujo, Mingueza, Alba, Coutinho, Busquets, Pedri, Braithwaite, Messi and Griezmann. Koeman's bad selection habit popped up again here. No one could fathom why De Jong got benched. I'm hearing that he may have had some discomfort, but then why did he come on almost like start of the second half if that's the case? But yeah, anyway, De Jong was benched and our least effective attacker, Coutinho, nonetheless was put in. Valencia though set up with a 4-4-2 as we were expecting them to, with the only change being Cheryshev coming in for Vallejo, and that meant that Guedes, instead of lining up on left, started up top next to Maxi Gomez, and he made quite a nuisance of himself in that role as a second striker. Now the first half was quite different from how the first half was in the Sociedad match. Okay, there was some pressing present, but once Barca were on the ball and they were moving in and around that area for Valencia, all the Barcelona players seemed so hesitant to take a shot, and as a result a lot of the first half was spent making sideways passes. Then from a corner that came out of a brilliant save by Ter Stegen after Barca gave the ball away cheaply, Valencia scored the opener after Diakabi got a free header. After Diakabi got free of his marker, Antoine Griezmann, like really guys, whose great idea was it for Valencia's tallest defender to be marked by one of Barca's shortest players? Anyway, free header Diakabi, 1-0 Valencia. Barca then tried their best to react, pushing forwards, very aggressively passing sideways, and trying cute little chipped passes that were easy to defend for Valencia. And just as the interval was approaching though, Barca finally found an incisive pass as they had won the ball after pressing Valencia, and Griezmann was played through only for Jose Gaya to bring him down after a deliberate push. The referee gave the penalty and showed Gaya the red card initially, but after consulting VAR, the penalty was confirmed, but the card was weirdly switched to a yellow one. And I didn't really understand that. He was the last man, he made the foul, it was a penalty, therefore shouldn't that be a red card as well? Anyway, Messi stepped up to take the penalty, which Dominic saved. The rebound however fell to Jordi Alba, who then tried to set up Messi, and after his cross was deflected into Messi's path by Valencia defender, Messi pounced to score a scrappy header and bring Barcelona level just before the break. The goal, by the way, was a record equaling 643rd for one club by Messi. That puts him alongside Pele as, the only two legends to have achieved such a feat. I expect 644 plus to come up as the season progresses. The second half then began with Koeman subbing on De Jong for Busquets, and as the game progressed, Barca began to take more shots at Dominic in Valencia goal. The increased pressure on the Valencia goalkeeper, who was looking especially inspired, finally paid off when his resistance was broken by a lovely acrobatic volley scored by none other than Ronald Araujo 7 minutes into the second half. The game then became a bit more open after that, as Valencia could no longer sit deep and chances began to be created by both sides. Both goalkeepers had to make some big saves, with none probably being bigger than Dominic's save from a Brathwaite header at the back post. It was another instance of wasteful finishing, something we have become familiar with at Barca recently. Ultimately though, that miss would prove decisive, as Jose Gaya, who shouldn't have been on the pitch, can't emphasize that enough, played a pass to Maxi Gomez, who capitalized on a lapse in concentration from Mingueza to finish past Ter Stegen with a deft touch. I said in the build-up that the big Uruguayan enjoys scoring against us, and well, he did so again. I guess Koeman must have not got the memo, or at least the Barca players did it as well. Koeman then proceeded to make all the worst possible substitutions that he could, each one making the team less stable and more sterile in front of goal. And as a result, despite Barca's best efforts, definitely wasn't their best performance. Despite Barca's best efforts, 2-2 is how the scores stayed. So we can quickly talk negatives and positives. My negatives are not many. I only have 3 in particular, and those 3 are: firstly, Koeman's tactical disaster class. Coming into this game, it was pretty obvious what Barca needed to do to keep the momentum from the Sociedad game going. What that obvious thing was to leave the starting 11 unchanged. Now, I did say in my preview that I suspect Koeman would be unable to resist making changes, but to see that he did so by putting one of our least effective attackers on for a guy who was one of our best 2 players from the previous game, that was honestly shocking. To top it off, he then made subs that destroyed the flow of the game. In my Sociedad preview, I remember expressing fear that Alba still would outsmart Koeman. Well, the fact that Javi Gracia, the Watford reject, was instead the one who ended up doing so, that was just embarrassing. Koeman, my guy, either you wise up or get out. I'm saying go hard or go home. My next negative, as usual, is wasting chances. And I don't want to waste my voice on wasting chances, so I will now insert the exact words that I said in the previous match review for the Sociedad game. Because see, back then I said that I don't know how much longer we will have to contend with this wasteful finishing, but we honestly should be scoring more than we are at the moment, and when our defense is as leaky as ours is, the number of goals you score becomes quite significant in the long run, yeah? So that's a department we are definitely going to have to work on, the goal scoring department. I'm sorry, but some of the misses that we've been seeing of late, guys, we can't keep this up. And my third negative from this game, although it's not a Barcelona negative, it's more of just like a negative, and that's the referee. Now look, I generally don't complain much about the low standards of officiating in La Liga because it affects everyone. That's what I believe, honestly. And I don't believe refs target Barca. The decision not to send Gaia off, though, that's one of the most perplexing and vexing decisions I have seen. Most especially because had he rightfully not been on the pitch, that equalizer doesn't happen probably. So yeah, the ref had a stinker. Moving on from there, I'll now talk positives, which this time around I only really have one, and that positive is Ronald freaking Araujo. I'll admit to not having fancied him over the more mercurial talents of Jean-Claude Todibo, but boy has this kid been solid and reliable. Oscar Mingueza has been equally impressive, and whilst Oscar's inexperience is probably starting to show at times, I don't fault the kid for being a kid. I fault the people who thrusted him into this way. Is it thrusted or just thrust? I fault the people who put him into this situation rather than there being an experienced centre back in his prime. So things like that little lapse of concentration that saw Maxi Gomez still half an inch in front of him, which was all that he needed to score. That's not on Mingueza, if you ask me. That's on the people who made decisions that ended up putting a kid like Mingueza in that situation with that much pressure on his shoulders. Now, provided our attackers take their bloody chances, Mingueza and Araujo could be enough to see us through the rest of the season, I believe. So, I will now talk about the man of the match. Now, I said that this one might surprise you all. The reason why is because my three candidates for this title, none of them are flashy headline grabbers. Okay? I've got Ronald Araujo, I've got Jaume Dominic, and I have got Marc-Andre ter Stegen. I already touched on Araujo, so I won't say much more. Dominic, though, continued the tradition of goalkeepers visiting the Camp Nou and turning into prime Lev Yashin. Like seriously, guys, look at the ratings that first Buffon, then Aito Fernandez, and now Dominic posted at the Camp Nou. I mean, Dominic even saved a penalty, and that crazy goal line save to deny Lord Brathwaite as well was just... As for ter Stegen, he was not to be outdone himself. Of course, he similarly denied Maxi Gomez what seemed an obvious goal and put up the type of performance we are used to seeing from him. So with all that said, it only makes sense that my man of the match was Jaume Dominic, just edging out Ronald Araujo. I mean, this dude saved the pen, and he's the sole reason why Valencia deserved to get something out of this match. And is the reason why they actually did get something out of this match. Well, that does it for my match review. What are your thoughts on the game? Who do you think were the game changers? Thank you for tuning in, and do not forget to like and subscribe to Blaugrana Everything for more content. Have a great day, and Força Barça.